They only made 3,043 of these. It wasn't the lowest production Lincoln that year. The Capri was actually a little lower, but only 3,043 made. Is this gorgeous? Eugene Gardner.
Yeah, pretty unique styling. You know, you got the dash kind of wraps around a little bit. I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at the rear end of that. That's just very
The
interesting.
roof comes over the rear window. I mean, the whole thing. That is very, very different than a lot of the other stuff in those years.
Put some headlights in the back of that car. It looks like it's coming at you too.
Yeah. There it is, Lincoln Premier. I'll tell you, John has shot some very unique stuff for us.
Well, and he and I have had that discussion. I mean, he likes to find unusual things.
Yeah.
And I would prefer to do that as well. We all see the more common cars. There's nothing wrong with that either, but to be able to show some of these more unusual cars, I think is really is interesting.
I always love the unique ones.
Yeah.
Even the Ramblers,
Yep,
the Studebaker
exactly.
Larks, it adds a lot of variety to
Yep,
it.
exactly.
Chevelles and Mustangs are wonderful, but I love the odd ones.
61 Ford Galaxy Starliner, Roger Dudek. I'm not sure where he's out of.
And we have a couple of those in this area.
Yes, we do. A couple of nice ones too. And you don't see a whole lot of those. This is a fairly rare car. I don't know what the production was on it.
And obviously it's been modified, certainly not a stock car. Looks like he had 2 4s on it.
How I usually can tell those is the taillights. Those round lights. Nice interior, nice and clean.
But you also, there was, you know, Fairlanes that had that as well. Certainly the roof line on this one is unique. I think that has a lot to do with it.
Ooh. This is a 1961 Imperial LeBaron Southampton. New, $6,428. It weighs 4,875 pounds. There was only 1,026 produced.
Wow.
That's pretty rare. And this one's all original except the paint. Bruce Bissonette, or Bisonette, is the owner on that one. Isn't that gorgeous?
And again, just amazing styling.
Wow.
You know, we certainly don't, I mean, that's the one nice thing with getting some of this out-of-state footage is the fact we've gotten some cars that we might not get an opportunity to see, and in a lot of cases, people aren't even aware of what they are.
Check these out. Look at the taillights on this. That's different. That's unique.
Imperials at that time had some really bizarre styling, and I love them.
Almost looks like something out of the Jetsons or something.
Yes.
You know, it's,
I love the headlights on
Yeah.
a lot of those, where the headlight comes up and the fender comes out over it.
LeBaron Southampton. Pretty cool. Look at the shape of the steering wheel in this. Things back in those, it seemed to flow, Bill. Everything, like you look at the dash, it flows into the side, you know, into the door panel over there. I don't know.
yeah,
it
look
just
at
seemed to
that,
flow
look at that
better.
dash.
Yeah,
Fabulous.
that is cool. Now, is that a push button?
Yeah, I would say it's probably a push-button
Yeah.
transmission.
Push
Not
button
sure what's
transmission.
along the other side that's push-button, but
Those headlights.
Yeah. That's cool stuff. And all the chrome that they had on it.
and those, you know, the headlights and the taillights almost look like it was an afterthought. We got the car
Yeah.
styled. Well, gee, we need to stick something
there's
on
the
there.
car. Oops, let's put
yeah,
some lights
yeah,
on
we're
it.
gonna put some lights on it. And that's okay.
Now, this is a 1962 Carmen Ghia VW, Ernie Eldridge. Now he's keeping this all original.
That's original, I
That's
guess.
original.
I'm gonna say it needs a
You
Band-Aid
don't
on.
get any more original than that.
I guess not. And, you know, as they say, it's only original once.
That's right. That's the truth. But those are cool little cars to drive.
Again, it was certainly a styling that was different than the basic Beetle. So it was something that, you know,
And
people really
You're
liked.
more likely to see a car like this at an AACA show because that's AACA. Part of it is, you know, the purists that want to keep them original, you know. And then again, we may see this car next year and it look completely different. I wish the guys would bring out the cars as they're working on them. Would be very cool.
That's one thing that's bugged me. A lot of people, I'll invite them to a car show. Hey, we've got this car show at Albertsons or someplace Friday night. Well, I'd like to go, but my car's not finished yet.
Not
I
done
don't
yet.
want to take it.
Not done yet.
Another nice VW here.
Yeah, 63 Beetle. That's Greg Madison. It was good to see that blue one come back.
Yes.
He came back to the shows.
Yeah.
It finally sold, and
And by, you know, by this time, you know, 63 through 65, you're seeing a lot of VWs.
well, I'd like to see some production figures on those. They have made massive amounts of those. That has got to be the highest production.
It is. It
vehicle.
beat out the Model T as far as the most.
Ooh, 64 Austin Healey BJ8 Phase 1. This is Gene Montesor, I believe his name is. That's cool. That's nice.
And again, we don't get to see those. There is an Austin Healey group that comes to the Devereaux Kaiser every year. But beyond that, I don't know that I see those cars out too much. They may go to a couple meets, but not a lot.
No.
Certainly
no,
they don't come to the car shows that we're involved in.
Right, your standard type car show. They every once in a while you'll see them out like at the St. Armand Circle
Yeah,
type stuff. Here we go, 1965 Buick Skylark Grand Sport. Let's see, that's what I got on here.
Wildcat engine.
Yeah.
And again, that styling was, you know, in 65 was going to be very much similar to what you would see, you know, with the Chevy lines as well. All those GM cars had some similarity for sure.
Apparently he had this car in
Yes, he
Hemmings
did.
Muscle.
Looks like it's been published.
Yes.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Those white, the white upholstery like that is so beautiful. I mean, it just sets off any interior, but it's got to be a nightmare.
And again, we were
I had
talking-
a car with a white interior. It was actually vinyl, but saddle soap.
Yeah.
And we
Keep it
talked
clean
about
with
this
saddle.
last time when we saw some of the Buick stuff. You know, the back end of that, it really was something that is reminiscent of like the big Wildcats.
65 Oldsmobile Jetstar. Introduced in 64 as competition against Pontiac's Grand Prix. They made 6,500 of them, which was a big drop because they were making 16,000 of them before that. Oh, there was no Jetstar one
No,
in
and I
66, that's right.
yeah, there certainly was very few years that they made that model. So it was, you know, was something that we don't see out much anymore. We don't really see Grand Prix though either. So, but
No,
they-
you don't see a lot of those
yeah,
either.
very much the same kind of styling on the inside. Very nicely done. See that wraparound trim, the stainless steel trim, and again that was
Yes.
Buick and Olds and Chevy. They all had that same kind of thing in the early '60s, mid '60s.
Yeah.
That was pretty common.
We got a little bit of technical problem on the tape, I think, tonight. We got a couple little glitches. Bear with us, folks. That is beautiful.
Yeah, very good styling.
Mm-hmm.
Big car. You can put a
Yes.
lot of stuff in that trunk.
66 Skylark?
Convertible.
Like I'm asking. Well, I'm not sure. I was looking that we had when I looked at this before, there was a glitch on it. Yeah. Because that's the 66 Skylark.